Hello everyone and welcome back. This will be the first of two videos that I record tonight, as one is uploading to the YouTube channel. I will be recording the other one, and I will record the proper introduction to it. But I felt that it was necessary today to cover this topic as well, in addition to looking back at what I wrote about the presidential candidates about a year ago. On this day in 1980, CNN launched. It was the world's first 24-hour news network. The network signed on at 6 p.m. Eastern Time from its headquarters in Atlanta, Georgia, with a lead story about the attempted assassination of the civil rights leader Vernon Jordan. CNN changed the notion that news could only be reported at fixed times throughout the day. At the time of CNN's launch, TV news was dominated by the three major networks, ABC, CBS, and NBC, and their nightly 30-minute news telecast. Initially available in less than 2 million U.S. households, CNN is seen now in more than 89 million American households and over 160 million homes internationally. If you've ever heard the phrase, through the power of CNN, that refers to the fact that CNN has newsrooms and journalists located across the globe. CNN sends reporters to hotspots that no one else can and gets the story on the air quicker than any other network. I am a huge CNN fan. For breaking news, I always turn to CNN because I know that regardless of what anyone will tell you, CNN has the best breaking news coverage on the planet. I'll give you an example. In 2018, when former President Bush died, he died in the late night hours. CNN, it was reported first by Don Lemon. And then, after that, for the overnight coverage, CNN had their lead anchor, Wolf Blitzer, and their lead White House reporter, Jim Acosta, reporting on it. That shows the commitment to excellence that CNN has. That even in the middle of the night, their all-star reporters were covering the story. Through this pandemic that we've been living through, Wolf Blitzer has been reporting on Saturday and Sunday night special editions of the Situation Room. Live coverage on the weekend. I am a huge fan of cable news. I am a news junkie. I will admit it. If I had to, in all honesty, the only reason that I probably even subscribe to YouTube TV and pay $50 a month is because of the news package. I get CNN, MSNBC, the BBC, PBS. I get 3 PBS stations. CNBC. That other news channel that I'm not going to talk about, and their business network. I even occasionally take a peek at those two. And the clarity that they bring to stories is amazing. I have learned more about the world through cable news than any other media. besides the classrooms of Jacksonville State University and Northeast Alabama Community College. And they're the reason that I majored in the major I did. I majored in integrated studies, and that rolled history and political science together. And that's because I was so enthralled by current events that was the only major that made sense for me. When I would hear something when I was younger on the news about a place I'd never heard of or an event I never heard of, I would grab an encyclopedia or atlas or an almanac, and I would look it up and I would learn about that place. I have over on my coffee table right now, I have what's called the CIA World Fact Book. And it's basically a huge almanac of every country in the world. And I've learned about so many places and so many things by hearing about those places reported on cable news and going and reading about them. And even now, with what has happened this afternoon, as I record this video, it is so vital to have reporters reporting on the news 24/7 and holding people accountable. We saw a peaceful protest disrupted this afternoon because the President of the United States wanted to walk across the street for a photo op. It was a peaceful protest in front of the White House, demanding answers. And they were fired upon with tear gas and flashbang grenades and mounted police on horses to disrupt them. I can't think of a place more patriotic in the world to protest than Lafayette Park in front of the White House. Because when you protest there, you've taken it to the doorstep of the president. And he can hear you inside those halls. And I am not encouraging violent protest at all, but peaceful protest in front of the White House, in my humble opinion, is the most patriotic thing you can do. And even now, more than ever, we need to raise our voices and let our elected representatives know that we are watching, and they must hold this man accountable for what he is doing. Folks, I've tried to be as nonpartisan as I can. And I've often told you straight up my political views. But we're at a crossroads as a nation. Do we go down the path to ruin and destruction, or do we choose to continue this noble experiment we have been on since the founding of the country and the ratification of the Constitution, or do we go into the darkness? Leadership is on the ballot in November, and I've regretted to say this for a long time, but I do believe that the survival of the Constitution is online. Because if Donald Trump gets 4 more years in the office of president, will there even be a Constitution? Because we've seen that congressional Republicans are certainly incapable of holding him accountable. I'll see you on the flip side for the second video.